All right, here we go. Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back. My name's Alan Patterson, and I am going to be attempting to bring you coverage of the Club 50 Communities Championship. This is the multi-class championship. GT3 and GT4s. Tonight we're coming to you live from Watkins Glen. And you join me as the cars are rolling out the pits for quali. So we won't miss a thing, hopefully. Internet looks good. I'm watching everything that I need to. Let's have a quick look at where we are for those of you that are unsure. Watkins Glen, this is it. Track is steeped in history. I was just reading up some details on this. Originally started way back in 1947, though that was on a street circuit, and then they had some accidents and some unexpected deaths and what have you, and so they decided to build a dedicated track. The short version, the NASCAR version, which you can see with the grey line on that map, corners from outer loop, turn 5 straight on to the back straight. And then this circuit, the international boot version, as it's known, because of the bottom right hand corner that looks like a boot. I think this has been in use since 1970 sometime. So yeah, a long time. 1971, where they've raced Formula One, they've raced Can-Ams, sports cars, endurance cars, GTs, you name it, they've raced it here. Just for the record, the official lap time for a GT3 car here is held by a Bentley. Quickly, there we go. It's Alvaro Parente, who was in a Bentley Continental GT3 at the 2019 Watkins Glen GT World Challenge, the America round. That was with a lap time of 1:44.2 as far as real lap times go. Anyway, back to Club 50. Let's have a look at what's happening in the points. Our GT4 class looks like this. Eli Poe currently up at the sharp end of the stick with 50 points. Stephen Kenwood not too far back with 39. Chris Blue in third place, 35 points. Andy Lawrence with 30. And Andy Thorpe with 30 points, who I believe is not here. He's away on vacation, so he's going to be missing tonight. But there's your top 10 with our sole lady driver Elizabeth Cron in 7th place in her McLaren. So all to play for, very close here in the GT4 class. GT3s, myself, I'm taking a break and doing the stream. We got Mark Healy very close by in the BMW. He's on 37 points. Steve Legale, 24 points. Christian Woodker, 22 points. Nick Coyne, also 22. And Radislav Večerek on 22. So 3 people there for tied for 4th place. So super close. Right. There we go. Let's get on with what's happening. 10 minutes and some change of qualifying to go, and as expected, Mark Healy is right up there, 146 point. Oops. Mr. Whitker just went quicker, 145.5. So there we go. It's a great time. Mark Healy then not too far back in 2nd place, 4/10, and that changed straight away. Annam Friday. This is a new name. I'm not too sure who this gentleman is, but in a portion he pops up into 3rd place. Nick Coyne in 4th. Oh, having a little coming together there with the Audi and the McLaren. That wasn't intended. And JP Miranda, not too far back, 1.6 seconds off the pace in 5th place in his BMW. Nice works color scheme there on that livery. Hopping down to the GT4s, it's Steve Kenwood in his McLaren. And Stephen, as usual, has been there or thereabouts or on pole all the time. He's very comfortable in this GT4 McLaren. Going well. His last lap, best lap time of 1:57.4. Behind him is Andy Lawrence. Here he is in his BMW M4 GT4, and he is his best 1:58.5, so 1.1 seconds off Stephen Kenwood's time. 3rd place, none other than Pete Stepani. He's quickest, a 1:58.5, so he's literally 900ths off Andy Lawrence's time. That's between 2nd and 3rd place in the GT4s. So it's very close there as well. Right. Steve Legale, it's white Aston Martin Vantage. As he enters down and goes down into the boot section. Hello to Steve Koenig. How are you, Steve? Great to have you here. Yep, I'm doing a stream for a community in the United States called Club 50. Hello, Chris. Great to have you here, sir. Chris Bloom joining us all the way from Durban. Yeah, Steve. So, as you know, with the commentary stuff, after the various championships all closed down, racing gets a little bit quiet and so on. So, I have looked across a couple of ponds to find some interest and to find some leagues, and I'm actually quite busy overseas. This is a really fun community, Club 50, obviously 50 overs, and I'm racing in this league, but also doing 1 or 2 streams for the guys. But good having you here, by the way, and hope you're enjoying yourself. Okay, we're down to just under 7 minutes in quali. Mark Healy in his Rower BMW 1:45.3 around the Glen. Just up ahead of him, it's one of the M4s. It could be Andy Lawrence, who gets nicely out of the way and lets him go through. See, there's another family contingency here this evening. We've got Christian Whitker. It's here in racing for Devils Racing. It's Aston Martin, good looking livery. And then also S. Whitker, who is in 2nd place up the road. And I'm not too sure what the relationship here is. Possibly brothers, I don't know. JP Miranda, carry on racing, and he's driving all the way out from Spain. Radoslav Večerek, here he is in the Sol Lexus. Awesome sounding V8, thunders around the track, these cars do. Radoslav from the Czech Republic, I believe. Alex Vollmer here in the Porsche, one of the legendary Gulf racing color schemes. This is one of the throwback liveries, actually. GPX Racing's livery, and Alex Vollmer out of the United States. Steve Legale in the pits, we saw him earlier. Here we have Enrico Itri, also in one of the M4s. Enrico driving from Italy. A huge mix and match of nationalities and countries here. Here, you can take your interest to this car in 12th place. This is Brad Clark, or Compulsion Racing. Brad Clark is driving one of the Godzilla Nissans. Brad Clark driving out of Canada when he gets that very sideways and decides to visit that tire wall. That'll that won't help, and he goes back to pits.
30 seconds.
Okay, back live with you. Somehow muted my microphone. Just got to let this field pull off and go around for their pace lap. I need to get my Aston off the grid. Is there at the back of the grid. There it is. Okay, do it this way. Give me 2 secs and I'll be back with you in 2 seconds. Right, good. Back with you. My car's in the pits. Should be good to go. Mark Healy in pole position. Radoslav Vicherek in the Lexus next to him. Grand to see a mix of manufacturers here. S. Vitka in third place. In the yellow and black Aston Martin, that's the Beach Dean Racing Aston Martin. Next to him, Christian Wittke, must be his brother. Silver and red Aston Martin, Devils Racing, that team. Then Annam Friday in a white Porsche. Nick Coyne in his Audi R8 in 6th place. JP Miranda in his BMW 7th. Alex Volmer in another Porsche in 8th place. Enrico Itri in the Italian BMW. Steve Lagale in his white Aston Martin, there he is. Chris Haas, the red McLaren. Brad Clark in the big Nissan, another McLaren, that's Mr. Duke. Rick Quinkelenberg, there he is. The BMW, and then Stephen Kenwood leading the GT4s with next to him Andy Lawrence in his BMW and Chris Blue his Ginetta. Let's go back up to the front of the grid. We should be getting ready to they're heading towards the final turns. Here we go. It's GT3s coming to you live from the Glen. It's the Club 50 community. Here we go, getting ready for round 4. Great looking field of cars. Obviously the GT3s all ahead of the GT4s. They will come round to lap them. This race does have a required pit stop. We'll see that orange bar with the 1 in it turn green as and when everybody takes their required pit stops. Right, here we go. We're getting ready. We're coming down the start finish line. They are side by side. Here we go. We got green. We're off. We're off. Multi-class racing from the Glen. And Mark Healy. Oh, look at the Lexus attacking around the outside. Vicherek leaves his braking late, and it's allowed Wittke in the Aston Martin to come up the inside. Let's drop back. They're side by side as they come up the hill. Oh, this is going to be a challenge. As Wittke got it, they're still side by side. Lexus and the Aston Martin big V8s thundering up the hill. Now heading towards the bus stop, putting the squeeze on each other. Who's going to brake? The Lexus is piling on the pressure, and he tears through. Whitaker pulls out of that, and so there we go. Looking further back, Nick Coyne in his Audi. Wow, and this Porsche's made a jump. This is Friday, who made a jump on C. Whitaker. C. Whitaker now trying to come through, almost driving into his family namesake there, S. Whitaker, and Nick Coyne having a huge dice here with A. Friday and the Porsche. These four cars really tackling each other. The Aston's too wide, and the Audi and the Porsche both go through. Christian Whitaker loses 2 positions in that hairpin. Now tries to go up the outside, outbrakes himself a little bit, and JP Miranda is now looking in the BMW as they come out of the boot section. It's a great first lap there. There's some plenty dramas somewhere further back already. In the GT4s, we have Steve Kenwood up into 10th place. There's a bunch of GT3s that have gone backwards. So there's you can see the big gaps in the track map on the right-hand side. Steve Kenwood in 10th. Chris Blue, oh, look at this. These guys are going to get... Yeah, that Porsche's already got a little bit of damage on, so there's obviously been some coming togethers on the first opening lap, as there are. And yes, in the background, it looks like the Nissan coming in the pits. Oh, wow, that Porsche. Steve Legele. And the Porsche goes round him. So indeed, B. Clark in the Nissan in the pits, and I just saw McLaren hit the pits. Hit the wall, sorry. Look at this dice. Gee whiz, Steve Legele in the Aston Martin and the Porsche of Alex Vollmer. I'm man alone here, so obviously I cannot go back and look at what happened on that starting lap. But I will try and keep you up to date with what's happening in the race now. So back up to 3rd place in the GT3s, and S. Whitaker all over the back of Radoslav Vicherek. And in the back, Adam Friday and the Porsche chasing Nick Coyne. And Christian Whitaker settled down now, and he is... Oh, he almost gets a big tank slapper. Right, on board with Adam Friday. And he is attacking like you cannot believe. Nick Coyne in the Audi up ahead. He's watching his mirrors as they go over the line. This is coming into T1. And the Porsche, it doesn't have anything on it. Nick Coyne knows where he can send that Audi's braking point to. And here we go, coming up the hill now. This is single file all the way up here. Christian Whitaker in the Audi, Aston Martin, he's looking, and now he's attacking the Porsche as they come to the bus stop. Or he decides better of it and pulls out of that. That would have ended in tears for sure. Sure, some close racing going on here, ladies and gents. Nick Coyne is sweating buckets in that Audi, I tell you. He's under a huge amount of pressure. Cannot afford to make a mistake. Adam Friday. Got to find out if this is his real name. He gets a great drive out the hairpin. They side by side as they come up out the boot. Nick in trouble here. He's got the outside. The Porsche's up the inside for this right-hander. And Nick slams the door closed. Takes his racing line. Some good defensive driving right there. Gonna pop down to the GT4s. It's Derrida in 15th. Jan Derrida, here he is behind Chris Blue in his Ginetta. We're a lot closer than this according to the timing screens. Let's go to 11th quickly. Alex Volmer. Back up to 5th place. Christian Vidke in the Aston Martin. Looking ahead at Adam Friday, who's looking at Nick Coyne. Oh, S. Vidke up in 3rd place. Let's jump here. And he's looking at Vicharek's Lexus as they come into the bus stop. Watkins, super fast track. The lap times, I tell you what, you've got very little time to relax on this. The uphill climb and the left-right S-bends sweeps is a relaxing part of the track, but otherwise it's flat out all the way around. Right, Mr. Lawrence in the pits down in 21st place. There were a couple of cars that came in earlier for repairs, the Nissan of Clark, etc., and those pit stops will not count for the official pit stop because they have a pit stop window in this. So those are emergency repairs. Oh, and the Lexus. Oh dear, Vicharek getting it all sideways right there. And now he's parked it across the track. He's going to have to turn this around as cleanly as he can. Gets it going. Now's your chance. Oh, he's coming the wrong way here. Is he going to try and spin a donut? Here come the GT4 cars. He's doing a 3-point turn. Oh, the BM. Oh, and the BM goes around the back. Now this Lexus is in huge drama. He's gone from second almost to the back of the grid. Oh, there we go. He floors it and does a donut. Vicharek gets it going, but he caused a little bit of drama with that BMW. I think that was Quinkelenberg. Bad luck there. Right, back up to the top of the GT3s, then we'll go and look at the GT4s. I think it's all opening up here a little bit. Nick Coyne now into 3rd place in his Audi with Adam Friday in the Porsche, and just behind him it's Christian Vidke. That's your top 5 for the GT3s. Let's go down to 15th here. We've got a Chris Blue in the Ginetta, and he's looking at Derrida just up ahead of him. Oh, and Derrida runs very wide. That's allowed the Ginetta to get right under the wing. Looking backwards now from Derrida. Gee, McLaren's got good top end speed up the hill there. The Ginetta was right there, and he's dropped in quite a fair ways as they come up the hill. Oh, it's a terrible line through the bus stop. And you can see the Ginetta all over the back now again. Chris Blue's going to make a move very shortly. Got a 9th place here, Mr. Quinkelenberg in the BMW, who's the whole right-hand side severely damaged after hitting that Lexus. And he is right behind Steve Legale in Aston Martin. These guys know they can't pit yet because it'll be a wasted pit stop, and you're just going to lose track position. Welcome to the PWSR YouTube channel. This is my own team channel, and I'm bringing you live coverage from the Club 50 community. It's the round 4 of the mixed class GT3 GT4 series, live from Watkins Glen. Stephen Kenwood, here he is, managing to hold back a GT3 McLaren. That is Dave Duke just behind him. He had a huge drama on lap 1, had to go in the pits and do a lot of repair work, as did the Godzilla Nissan. You can actually physically see the difference between the GT4 and GT3 cars here. Duke having to make his own way past. Should be able to get by here. It's a big late send into this bus stop, but he does get it done. Further back, here's Jan de Ridder, second place in his McLaren, with Chris Blue just behind him, who is under a lot of pressure from Pete Stepani. Here's Pete, oh, and he runs a little weird through that bus stop, almost runs off track, and has to back out of that. So pressure's off Blue's Janetta for now, but I'm sure he will close up again. At the moment, the closest race on track is Alex Volmer in the Porsche, and yeah, he is. I think he might have had a problem somewhere. He was a lot closer than this to the McLaren just now, so he's fallen off the back by 1.5 seconds now. So there we go, after 6 laps, this hour-long race coming to you from Watkins Glen, and these guys will have a pit stop that they'll have to complete sometime in the next 48 minutes. I'm not exactly sure on the pit window, but they all do need to come and pit, and let me just confirm that ruling. What is required? It's a mandatory tire change, so they have to change tires. Refueling is not necessary, but it wouldn't make sense not to run half a tank and do a quick refill while they do the tire change. So that's what we can expect. Oh, looking in the back there is Matthew Hudson, trying to keep out of everyone's way as he does. And the Porsche is about to come past him. B. Clark in the big Nissan, he's also further back at some point. Here comes the Audi. Matthew just letting everyone go by. Matthew just enjoying his day out in that big Chev. I mean, what fun can you have driving around Watkins Glen in a big Chev Camaro? Listen to this thing. Hermit Sim Racing. That is Mr. Matthew Hudson. Oh. Right, up the road we go. It's Chris Blue. Just ahead of the recovering Godzilla Nissan, just behind him. Chris Blue has got Pete Stepani in the green Aston Martin behind him, closing back up. And ahead of him, he's got Jan de Ridder that he's chasing, as the Nissan comes past quite easily. "45 minutes and counting." Now Pete Stepani's closing in. Here he comes. So we see that BMW coming through. Pro Racing BMW. That's Jay Miranda. So it's the leaders essentially lapping the GT4 cars. And look at Pete Stepani's drive on the Chris Blue's Janetta. Careful that Aston Martin. Stepani having to, well, he's got every right to stay where he is. That is Whitker in the Aston Martin, who's got to find his way around the GT4. Almost ran into the back of him. And here we go again. No, not Christian Whitker. He's now got to avoid this dice with the GT4s. And look at them side by side. Oh, he's sending one up the inside now. Now he's got to find his way around one way or the other way. McLaren stays in the middle of the track and the GT3 goes through. But gee, hasn't that opened up this race? This is Jan de Ridder in the McLaren with Chris Blue and Pete Stepane. This is second, third and fourth in the GT4s. They inevitably do put up a much closer race to watch. I will keep my eyes peeled. Chris Haas in 10th place. Let's go and have a look. Here he is in the McLaren, right behind Quinkelenberg in the BMW. Both of these gents racing out of the Netherlands. This is a very close dice for 9th and 10th, the GT3 class. Sure, these guys are buddies or friends, but it does look indeed like they are racing for position, so that's a good thing. Rick Quinkelenberg up ahead in the BMW. He's trying to position that car right in the middle of the track, and Chris Haas needing to look for a way around, or at least up the inside of the BMW. As they start another lap, everyone's over the line for 9 laps and counting. Oh, and the BM's gone. Rick Quinkelenberg just ran out of talent right around turn 1. Let's watch that replay. Just carried so much momentum down the main straight here. Took turn 1 quickly, but obviously either hit too much of the curb, but the back end came around and he went to the inside of the track. Here we go. Oh yeah, he's too far wide. He gets on the marbles and bang, into the tire wall he goes. That's going to have hurt the BMW completely. He goes, I can't believe that, he escapes back to pits. So he's going to sit in the pits for 2.5 minutes and go lap down. That's just foreign to me. So Chris Haas on his own now in the McLaren in 9th place, and that promotes Alex Volmer up into 10th place, with right behind him Radoslav Večerek, who had the drama in the Lexus earlier, and he's hanging on, desperately waiting for the pit window to open. So yeah, Rick Quinkelenberg from Netherlands escaping to pits is just not a good idea, man, because you're going to sit there for 2.5 minutes and you're going to go lap down, possibly 2 laps down. So there we go. Steve Kenwood coming through. Go back to Chris Blue. Here he is. Oh, Pete Stepane and Chris Blue. Look at the GT4s. Oh, Pete Stepane not getting a good drive through there. Let's go and watch that. Oh, he almost spun the car around. He had to get out of that and lift and run wide. Recovers nice and safely, and he'll continue. That was close for Pete. As he looks up ahead and he can see the Ginetta, and not too far ahead of the Ginetta is Jan de Ridder in his McLaren. Comes an M3 up the inside. It's the Italian car. It's Itri in the BMW, closely followed by Friday's Porsche. And then it's Nick Coyne in the Audi R8. So there goes 4th, 5th and 6th place past Pete Stepane. And if he can hang on to them by the time they get to the Ginetta, he'll manage to close up a little bit.
Pit window is open.
There we go, pit window's open. And straight away Pete Stepane heading to the pit lane. Yes, as is the GT3 car. Need to slow down here, boys. Oh, almost runs into him. That is one of the Witkers. That's Christian Wittke. So he comes in, as well as a Pete Stepane pitting early. and wanting to get their pit stops out the way. Very clever strategy going on here. Let's go up to 5th place. Big dice here. Itri, Friday, and Coin. This is 4th, 5th, and 6th place, respectively. I hope you guys, whoever's still out there on the YouTubes, enjoying the coverage and the footage and the commentary. Interesting names and pronunciations here. Right. Friday in the Porsche getting a drive on Itri in the BMW down to the hairpin. Coin following in the Audi R8 and wanting to hang on to this. Right, so up ahead, Mr. Healy having a quiet race at the sharp end of the stick in the BMW. 5.5 seconds up the road from S. Vitka, who then has JP Miranda in 3rd place in his BMW. He's I think it's 25 seconds back in 3rd place. Then this race, dice that we can see, Itri, Friday, and Coin. This is 4th, 5th, and 6th. With Steve Legale. The Porsche's looking. Are we pitting? No. Steve Legale then in 7th. Chris Haas in 8th. Alex Volmer in 9th. And Dave Duke in 10th place in the McLaren. Vitka, as you can see, in 11th. He has got his pit stop done. It's out the way. And he has a green box next to his name. So he's essentially the leader as far as the people who have pitted. Vicharek also not too far back in the Lexus. Also done and dusted. His pit stop's out the way. And Pete Stepani for the GT4 is done in 20th. 37.5 minutes to go in this hour-long race. As Jan de Ridder, 15th, right behind Chris Blue. They've obviously lost the dice with Pete Stepani, who then pitted earlier. So he's probably running in clear air and running quick lap times now, and he's going to look at getting the undercut done. Is Elizabeth Cron, our sole lady driver in her lovely metallic pink and metallic green liveried McLaren. She is still net 5th and 17th overall. She has, Elizabeth's had a couple of problems with her pit stops and making them count. So hopefully this one, she gets it, she selects the tire change. Acho Mama Motorsports, you gotta love that team name. So we want to see Elizabeth get a green box next to her name. She comes in for a pit stop. She's somehow been missing now. I don't know if it's unticking her tires or not sure what's been happening. But I think she might be pitting shortly. The other race that she had, she literally drove in as the pit window was closing, so she missed the pit window. So let's see if she's going to come in here now. She's not. Still 15 minutes of the pit window, so it's all good. There's no panic right now. Mr. Hudson is in, however. Matthew Hudson, he brings the Camaro in, and his pit stop's done. There he exits the pit lane, and you can see the green box. So a good, clean, perfect pit stop. No speeding, no drive-throughs, in and out. I have lost Mr. Andy Lawrence. Possibly disconnected earlier on. Can't seem to select him anymore, so I'm not too sure what's happened there. Mark Healy, here he comes in the Rower BMW. This is one of the default ACC liveries. Awesome looking car. my favorite. I supported the M6 for row racing for a long period. S. Vitka, the Beach Dean Aston Martin Racing Vantage. Good second place, only 3.9 seconds back, so dare I say it's actually closing the gap. Right, Enrico Itri into the pits from 7th place, as is Dave Duke. Oh, there in the background I can see a McLaren coming in. So Christian Haas. It's not. It was Dave Duke. Here he goes. Pit stop done and dusted. Green box. All good. Chris Blue in the Jeanette is in. Here he stops, as is... here comes Elizabeth. Right, come on now. Got to change tyres, Elizabeth. There up ahead we can see Itri leaving the pits in the green BMW. Just heard Matt Hudson go past in the big Camaro. Right, Elizabeth into her box. Oh, if she didn't roll too far forward. Coming backwards, or is she in? She's in. Looks good. Now we wait. See. Chris Blue, here he comes in the Janetta. There's definitely a tyre change done and dusted. Goes past Elizabeth. There she is. But we don't want to see any stop goes. And there's a green box. That's good. Elizabeth, so we wait for her. We'll get back to the racing shortly. This is important. See, there she's off the jack, so that looks good. Pulls away. Is the box green? It is. Elizabeth's pit stop is done. Well done. Let's go back to that GT3 race. Here they come. Nick Coyne in the Audi. Wow, and look at the Lexus and the Porsche. Bitcherek coming through in the Lexus. And on Friday in the Porsche. Just watch that. He was coming. Here we go. Side by side with the Lexus. Cannot go through the bus stop together. He goes too fast, too deep. Lexus undercuts him, and that's what happened there. Porsche's looking very second hand, mind you. Right, Steve Legala into the pits. Back with Nick Coyne in the Audi. We're still on replay here, by the way. There we go, we're back live. Oh, Steve Legala, he's sped into the pits. He's got a stop-go 30 next to his name. That's unfortunate. So Steve gonna have to go around and come back. And they come into the pits. Oh, and the Lexus goes around the Audi. That was a little bit of an opportunistic passing. Bitcherek in the Lexus. Now what is he doing? Almost came to a stop there. So I don't know, did the Lexus maybe speed coming into the pits? We shall see. Both of them stop. Bitcherek. Does it keep on jumping? Is he just disconnected? Oh, he has. Bitcherek has just left the game. So the Lexus obviously having a little moment, and he's disconnected, so he's not going to take any further part. So Nick Coyne in the pits. Here comes 6th place. So both JP Miranda and Nick Coyne sitting there, as here comes Itri in the BMW, and C. Vitka is coming just behind him. There's a bunch of cars coming in the pits now. A lot of GT3s. Vitka comes into the pits from second place. So Miranda's pitted. He goes up into fourth. Itri's chasing him into fifth. And C. Vitka, sixth place. Nick Coyne, the out. It's not out. Nick's been in here a long time. There he's off the... Alright, now he's rolling. Come on, Nick. Gauge, gear, and roll. There in the background, we see some more GT4s coming in. Ken Leader in the McLaren and Scholtens in the McLaren coming in. Nick Coyne. And out he goes. All good and clean. No stop go 30s. Pit stop done and dusted. Steve Legale, here he comes. This is just going to be killing him. Absolute waste, but it happens if you speed into the pit lane. He's going to stop right up at the front of the grid. He's got to sit there for a while. Steve Kenwood still got a pit. The window is 8 minutes and 30 seconds left here. And he hasn't come in yet. Leader for the GT4s. It's chasing him. Scholtens. Stoppani. Pete Stoppani up into second place. Look at that. So Pete Stoppani, the undercut is strong here. He pitted, what, 4 laps ago. And he is up into second place. So very good drive by Pete Stoppani. He jumped Chris Blue, he's jumped Jante Ridder with them all dicing and having a close racing on track. And Pete Stoppani moves up into second place overall in the GT4s. Mark Healy's in the pits, leader. He had a problem in one of the races I had with him at Spa, I think it was, and he sped into the pit lane. He also got to stop and go, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Saw McLaren just whip out the pits there. Oh, Nick Leader has been disqualified. He's disconnected as well, so I think that was him. He probably came into the pits too quickly. Right, Matthew Healy's off his jacks and rolling. This line we wait to see. So he's controlled that well. So out he comes. Where's Adam Friday? He's up the hill and going in the Porsche. So new leader at the moment, Adam Friday in the Porsche. Driving up the marble side of the track, strangely enough. He now has to pit. That'll demote him again, and Matthew Healy will come through. Whitker in third place. S. Whitker, here he is. He's chasing Matthew Healy up the hill. So that is your net first, second, and third places. Miranda, JP Miranda in fourth. He's coming to the start-finish line, so quite a distance off Whitker. Right, Steve Kenwood in the Porsche. In the McLaren, in the pits I meant. And he pulls in. See the Godzilla of B. Clark. Brad Clark, there he goes. Out, and that's all dusted. Nice clean pit stop for Big Nissan. Off he goes. So just Stephen Kenwood to finish the pit stops now. And Adam Friday in the Porsche, so he should be coming around shortly. Here he comes. Pit windows, got 5.5 minutes left, so either this or the next lap. It's not this lap. I hope he's aware he does need to do a pit stop. Oh, up ahead. See that Audi, that's Nick Coyne in 8th place. Oh, it is Nick Coyne and Alex Volmer. Let's just go back 30 seconds. This was a position change. Here they come over the start-finish line. Alex Volmer's ahead, and the Audi's going to do a send up the inside into T1. He pulls out side by side, and there's nothing Volmer can do. Through T1 they go, and that's a great pass there by Nick Coyne. up the hill they go. So Nick up into 7th place now. Pit window 4 minutes and counting. This gentleman has to pit this lap or the next lap. If not, he will get a huge penalty, time penalty added to his finishing time. Matt Healy 9.6 seconds off, and essentially your net leader at the moment. Right, final turn, and here we go. He's coming in now. Our leader goes through in the BMW. And here comes S. Vitka. Each Dean Aston Martin Racing Vantage comes around the final turn. He is now going to bump up into 2nd place. Friday sitting in the pits in the Porsche. So next up, if a positional change, will be JP Miranda. Just coming out of the boot section. So, and he's having a huge race with Christian Vitka in the silver Aston Martin behind him. This is for position. This is, depending on where Friday comes out in the Porsche, this will be for 3rd or 4th place. It's 2 cars. Porsche's off the jacks. There he goes. This is going to be close. He's heading down to the end of the pit lane. Here comes JP. And I can hear the Porsches out the pits and gone. There he is. Oh, this is good. This is 3rd, 4th and 5th, as you can see them right now on the track. Gonna stick with this dice. Oh, and there's a GT4 just up ahead of them as they come into the bus stop. That's gonna hold up the Porsche. And in the background, there's Itri in the green BMW there. So 4 cars now for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. As they all are... Oh dear, Aston's got to be careful. Almost clouts the BMW of JP. And does a big lunge coming down into the boot section. This Christian Vitka is not scared to drive. Gonna stay here for a little bit because I think there's possibly going to be some action here. Christian Vitka in the Aston Martin looking, trying to do a dive somewhere. He's really trying to rattle JP Miranda's cage. The BMW up ahead. "20 minutes and 40 seconds left of this hour-long race from Watkins Glen. Anyone gets a good drive out of T1 here, you're going to get... Oh, the Aston does get a good drive. JP's going to be under huge, immense pressure when they get to the bus stop up the hill. Watching backwards from the BMW. It's quick enough. Oh, and there's a GT4 car there. The Porsche has to go round. They all got to go round. They do. Nicely. Well done, gentlemen. I think that's Scholten's in that McLaren. It's a good race to watch this. 4th, 5th, 6th, with Itri 5 seconds back in the BMW. I'm sorry, this is 3rd, 4th and 5th place. So I've got a feeling Christian Witke's going to do a big lick and send it somewhere, and JP's just not going to allow it. This corner, guys get very light as they come around there. Guys need to watch out. We saw the Lexus lose it early on in the race. Mr. Vicherek having a oh, Matt nicely moving out the way and letting the Foster guys go by. And now look here. Oh, it's the Janetta they're going by. It's Chris Blue's Janetta. Aston Martin's got a huge drive on the BMW. Got to get a perfect line through here. He misses the line. BMW's got such good grunt up the hill. Aston's quick, but he's not quick enough. Oh, there's a whole lot of traffic up ahead. It's Stepani. Pete Stepani. Oh, they got to watch out, Chad. That Aston is going far too quickly. Not too. I spoke about a lunge, and he did send one up the inside of JP. Christian Witke makes this pass stick. Oh, that BMW's in the barriers. That's the Netherlands car. That's Quinkelenberg bouncing off the barriers down in 19th, and obviously laps down due to ejecting to the pits. Rick, drive the car back to the pits, buddy. There's a reason you get big penalties just to escape. Right, 17 minutes and some change, and we have Christian Witke now looking up ahead at Annam Friday in the Porsche. And the Porsche is now trying to get by this GT3 McLaren, which is, I think it's Duke, who's about to go a lap down. It is Duke. So Annam Friday sends it up the inside. JP Miranda went past again. I didn't see that. Let's go and have a look here. Well, the Astons run wide there up ahead. Oh, he bounces off the tire wall, does Christian. And that's hurting. Christian Witke in the Aston Martin bangs off the tire wall. JP Miranda manages to get the pass done. So he comes back up into 4th place. We're still watching replays now as they go up the hill. Here we go, we're live again. The Christian Witke's got to do it all over again. Steve Kenwood, 26.5 seconds up the road in the GT4 class. So, sorry you're not getting much airplay today, sir, but yeah, that's a massive gap. Pete Stepani driving himself into 13th. Look at this, look at this, look at the Aston. Ooh, he's up the inside as they come through the final turn. Wow, this Christian Witke, he's definitely not afraid. JP Miranda must be thinking, wow, this guy. There's some places you can pass on and other places you can't. And this is where Christian likes to make a pass. Coming up to the bus stop. JP's running defensive. The Aston goes around the outside. He's too hot. He's got to go through the chicane. Or JP, and the Aston spun. Christian Witke's in a pile of problems, and he's just scraped the barrier. And there comes Itri, so there's another position change going to happen. Now Christian's a little bit too unsafe, for want of a better word. And although he's quick and he's up there, he makes too many mistakes and loses positions. S. Witke comfortable in second place, but Christian Witke back down to fifth now. Let's go and see Pete, 14th place. Pete Stepani, and he's got the Janetta of Chris Blue. So close dice here for the GT4 class. Oh, in the background, Nick Coyne in the Audi in 7th place, running very wide. He missed his braking point completely. Keeps it out of the tire barriers and doesn't lose a position, but I did see that. It happens often with my camera. I reference it as commentator's curse. So, sorry, Nick. Right, 12 minutes and some change, and Pete Stepani hanging on to second place. Did an awesome drive. He was languishing in 5th, I think, 4th. Earlier on in the race, and had a very early pit stop as soon as the pit window opened, took himself out of traffic, came out in clear air, and has powered his way past 3 cars ahead of him. So great strategy there from Pete Stepani. As Nick Coyne comes past Chris Blue. C. Witke, here we go again. He is closing in on the back of Enrico Itri, BMW. And up ahead is none other than Steve Kenwood, the leading GT4 car. These gents are going to have to go around Steve Kenwood. For the non-competitive guys, the Matthew Hudsons and Elizabeths, they kind of... Well, this Aston's close. They get out the way and make way for the GT4s, the GT3s to come through. But Stephen Kenwood is he's in his own race and has every right to stay on the racing line. And the chasing GT3 cars need to go past in their under their own steam, cleanly and without any contact. Right, up the hill, Itri, watching his mirrors. Watching his mirrors. He's going to have to run defensive now. Oh, what Mr. Kenwood's thinking right now. Because he has to make this turn. He's got to turn in here. And he does. The BMW slows down and the Aston's also got to lift. They've got to now go around the outside. The BM's going up the inside. Stephen Kenwood thinks better of it and just decides let them go. Some intelligent driving right there. Aston Martin on the outside, and if Itri outbrakes himself, that Aston Martin's going to have a send. It's now time for Itri to see what... oh dear, was that a bit of contact? Oh, we're going to have to watch that in replay. Okay, we've gone all the way back. I have a feeling Aston Martin turned the BM around as they came up the hill. We're going to see it from aerial. Yeah, the Aston's coming around the outside into the hairpin. Itri holds his position. The Aston gets a good drive. And does he drive into the back of the BM? Or he does, he catches his wing and they both go into the barrier. Itri struggling now with the bonnet, which is up in the air. He's going to have to, he's not going to pit from here, he's got to just drive, but there's the Aston coming into the pits behind him, so Wittke is coming in from 6 to repair. Oops. Well, I'm sure it wasn't intentional, but he's been super close, and there's been a number of very close incidents with Christian Wittke. But poor old Enrico Itri right now is probably got 50, 70 k's an hour speed missing of that BMW after clouting the barriers. Got a huge air dam now with the bonnet up in the air, as you can see, and Nick Coyne is going to come by for a position and sails up the inside, and that's Nick going up into 5th place. There's our leader coming through, that's Matt Healy. So Matt Healy has lapped up to 5th place and is about to come past Nick Coyne. Let's drop down here to 13th. It's Brad Clark. Brad Clark going past Stephen Kenwood in the GT4, the leading car. Good to see a Nissan out on the track. We don't see them that often. Chris Blue. There's Pete Stepani. So he's still he's in touch with Pete Stepani up ahead. Porsche trying to get by, and the Porsche will go by. It's Alex Vollmer in 7th place, and he will then be next to get by Itri's damaged BMW. Aaron are coming around the outside of the Ginetta. It's Duke in the red McLaren. Oh, Pete Stepani, better watch out. Here comes the Ginetta. Chris Blue's attacking Pete Stepani. Six and a half minutes. Literally, these guys have about 3 laps to go. And they've had an almighty race the whole evening. The Ginetta coming up the hill, trying to stay in the slipstream, but the Aston Martin's got good straight line speed. And you can see slowly eggs away from the Ginetta. Chris Blue wondering what he's going to do to hang on to the... this could be it. Oh, look at the steering wheel. Oh dear. And that is Pete Stepani into the barriers, I think. Oh, it is. He bounces over the first curbing, gets a tank slapper, and straight... Oh, that hurt. He puts his foot down and sends it, but he's hurt himself as well. Just under 6 minutes to go, and Pete Stepani loses 3rd place in the GT3 4s. He is a good 15 seconds up the road from Derrida, so he's just got to keep himself clean there, but he'll be kicking himself after making that mistake. Put under due pressure by the Ginetta of Chris Blue, and that's what happened. Oh, okay, so we're down to 5.5 minutes left. Mark Healy, which I think I might have been calling him Matt, or no, I don't know. Mark Healy, 30 laps and 12 seconds up the road from S. Wittke. S. Wittke holding the quickest lap time. He did a 1:44.75. He's the only driver in the 44s. Mark's quickest time was a 1:45.0. So Aston showed good pace. And on Friday in the Porsche in 3rd place. And plenty seconds back. It's flashing the GT4, which is not on, but anyway. JP Miranda, yeah, he comes in his BMW, and he is he's in 4th place and should be coming through, no problem. Nick Coyne coming out of the boot section, and he's comfortably in 5th place. And he has passed Itri. So Itri struggling here, he's just going backwards now. And here comes Alex Volmer, who's also going to come past Itri. Itri knows it's pointless pitting with 4 minutes left to fix the damage. So I'm sure he's going to be very upset with the incident from Christian Wittke. Chris Haas right behind Volmer. So both of these guys will go by the ailing BMW. Oh, and the McLaren drives into the back of the BMW. That, wow. Poor old Itri, he has had a torrid time of it this evening. He just got driven into again by the McLaren. So he's been hit twice. I think Chris Haas was a bit unsighted there and didn't realize that BMW was that slow. I'm sure there was a lot of apologies going on, but Itri's just limping home now, 3 minutes and counting. Here comes Steve Legale, and he will even catch Itri and go up from 9th to 8th. Steve foots it and goes over the start-finish line, passing one of the GT4 McLarens. So probably about 2 laps left as far as Mark Healy goes. That McLaren running super wide there. I think that's Skolton's in 17th. Alex Volmer Haas actually went past the Porsche on this lap. So Chris Haas having accidentally also driven into the back of the BMW of Itri, and Itri is literally just limping his car home. Next man to come by, if he is going to, is Steve Legale, and there you can see Pete Stepani's Aston Martin, who's also limping home after hitting the barriers at the bus stop. So fair little bit of drama and issues happening this evening, coming live from Watkins Glen. Good to see my internet speed and everything's been good this side, so you should have, those of you who've been watching will have had a nice crystal clear 1440 pixel HD stream. Watching Steve Legale, I want to see if he's going to get, here's the BM, it's over the start finish line. Itri, I don't even think he'll get this lap done. It's going to be one more lap, I think, as Mark Healy goes past Matthew Hudson. Steve through the first turn, heading up the hill, and there's Enrico Itri struggling along in his BM. Right, Mark Healy about to start his last lap. Elizabeth almost went into the pits there. She was trying so hard to keep out the way.
Alright man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
So, Mark Healy, 33 laps, he's quickest, a 1:45.0 and 12.8 seconds up the road from this man, S. Wittke, who holds the fastest lap of the evening, a 1:44.7. Third place, not sure if this is a real name or not, Annem Friday in the Porsche, 1:46.3. JP Miranda bringing his BMW up into 4th place after the demise of the Lexus and one or two other cars early on. And JP Miranda, he's quickest a 146.5. And Nick Coyne bringing his Audi also into the top 5 and doing a 146.7, his quickest lap. Stephen Kenwood leading the GT4s as he starts his last lap. His quickest was a 157.0. So 12 seconds off the pace of the GT3 cars. Chris Blue in second, and here's Mark coming through the boot section. Sorry, I was just checking that. So Chris Blue in second place for the GT4s. Pete Stepani quite a ways off, and he now has Yonder Ritter right behind him, so he is going to lose that 3rd place. That's unfortunate for Pete Stepani, but it's racing. And Yonder Ritter moves up into 4th place for the GT4s.
The leader has finished the race.
And there it is, Mark Healy. Easy flag to flag win for him in the BMW. And here comes Vidka over the line. And then Friday, coming up out the boot, he's still got to get to the line. So the rest of the guys up ahead all complete their laps. And there we see the limping Itri in the BMW just behind him. Was well up in, I think he was 4th or 5th. And he had a huge issue with Christian Vidka in the Aston Martin. Got hit coming out the boot section, nosed into the barriers, and lost all drive in that BMW, unfortunately. So, Annan Friday through the final turn. It'll be 3rd place for him. JP Miranda still coming. Other M4, the BMW. And he rounds out, comes out over in 4th place, with Nick Coyne finishing in 5th. Stephen Kenwood in the GT4s, easy win for him. Followed by Chris Blue and Yonder Ritter rounding out your top 3 for the GT4s. Good stuff. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed that coverage. I enjoyed bringing it to you. There was some good close racing going on, and hope you enjoyed the stream. And I will catch up with you next week after Christmas, and have another race probably. But from me, thanks. Hope you enjoyed it, and good night. Cheers.